Welcome to the Season 1 finale of The Value of One, The Power of All, a podcast created by the Ron Brown Scholar Program. I'm your host, Ray Pryor from the Ron Brown Scholar Class of 2015, and on this episode, we're going to recap some of the highlights of the first season. When we were thinking about launching this podcast, it had been 3 years since we had an in-person Selection Weekend, American Journey Awards, Leader Summit, August Leadership Conference and Reunion, or any regional gatherings. So we wanted to find a way to bring the powerful conversations that happen in those spaces when scholars connect to a platform where anyone from anywhere at any time can experience the impact of this community. It's been amazing to watch what started out as just an idea from a Ron Brown Scholarship application by a soon-to-be Ron Brown Scholar come to life as a powerful platform to capture the essence of the RBS family. Secretary of Commerce Ron Brown was passionate about using business to do well and do good in the world. And in this first season, we focused on the successes and challenges of entrepreneurs in the RBS community. They are tackling everything from food and natural disasters, e-commerce and entertainment, to venture capital and healthcare. After we listen to some of the best snippets from the season, I'll share a little bit about what we learned from those conversations with RBS entrepreneurs, and then I'll share what's top of mind for us heading into season 2. Here are those highlights, starting with Ethan Monroe Jackson, RBS 08 and founder of New Type Ventures.
If I said I was investing in Africa because of how fast the population is growing, the technological changes that are occurring, no one would bat an eye. In fact, some people would say that's smart. If I said I was investing in Latin America for the same reason, people would say that's brilliant. That makes a ton of sense. There's so much opportunity. But the moment I say I'm investing in underrepresented minority founders in the United States, right, 100 million plus population, the same population as Japan or Mexico, right, who round out the top 10, all of a sudden now that's charity.
Here's Robert Cabrera, RBS 07 and founder of Sync Energy AI.
Most people speak of the runner's high. And the runner's high is what the rest of the world knows as the zone. The zone is when excellence becomes effortless. At the physics level, it's a concept called free energy. I'm going to nerd out for like 10 seconds.
Go for it.
So what happens is when we produce energy, electricity, it is inefficient. If you spend $100 to produce electricity, you're going to get out less than $100. The typical engine has a maximum 66% efficiency. But free energy is this idea that there's a special machine that you get out more than you put in. It doesn't exist. It's a special thing. I think the RBS is free energy. Wow. I really think it's the only thing that you can get out more than you put in.
Right.
And I hope the stories we've shared with people today give them clues and glimpses of how that's possible.
Here's Brittany Coleman, RBS 09 and founder of Tough Cutie.
They would talk about that customer as like the girlfriend of the real outdoorsman, right? She didn't need necessarily the same quality of gear, didn't get the same considerations as a customer for someone who's going to be active and like killing it outside and doing these really badass things. It was like, oh, she's just this like accessory for to be out there with men, and we're going to design for her accordingly.
Here's Javon Lawrence, RBS 2010 and founder of Drip.
If our servers break and like our platform is down, or like we face some pressure from a competitor, that's not nearly as hard as waking up and not being able to have a meal, right? Like there's nothing that's like, in fact, it is a privilege to have these problems, right? And so I think that's a huge part of the way I contextualize it is like, I am deeply privileged that our servers are broken or that one of our competitors is being super annoying or aggressive.
Here's Tyrell Russell, RBS 2012 and founder of The Cookie Box.
They started to advertise this event in Beijing called the Black Expo. It's this huge thing that brought together Black business owners throughout China. I want to go, but I don't have a product. I don't know what I do. So I said, okay, I need a product that I can easily take to Beijing and it won't take that long. It's not super intricate. I don't have to buy a million different ingredients and have a whole kitchen. So the whole cookie thing was just me scrambling to figure out a product that I could cook that would be easy to travel with and that could give me some type of return.
Here's Kristen Edwards, RBS05 and founder of Black and Green.
And so I got Honey Pot and Black Girl Sunscreen back in before they were at the Targets and the Whole Foods. Like I had them early on, just hopped on the phone, talked to Shantae, talked to B, and said, let's make this work. They believed in the mission. They believed in what I was trying to create.
Here's Brandon Hill, RBS11 and founder of Vori.
Grocery is the largest undigitized retail format on the planet, and yet everybody around the world grocery shops once a week, once a month. Some cultures once a day. This is the most frequent consumer shopping behavior on the planet. And so there's a big gap when it comes to tech.
Here's Colin Webb, RBS14 and founder of Sauce.
Seeing the food industry where you have passionate people working on things and the whole industry is digitizing, it's becoming e-commerce faster than ever. And the resources that you need to be the best e-commerce company are just inherently different. Like you actually need data expertise, you need engineering, you need to be able to figure out solutions that can optimize your business. And that was just something that a lot of these folks, small business owners, didn't have like the time or the resources to do properly. And so, we looked at it and we're like, well, how can we bridge that gap, and how can we really use this data plus smart engineering to be able to allow these folks to grow their businesses in new ways and become the top performing digital companies, which every single restaurant across the country now is being asked to be.
Here's Jeff Nelson, RBS06 and co-founder of Blavity.
But what if we sort of aggregate Black content on the internet and send it out to people, right? So what if we build a platform where people, whether it's stuff on Vine, YouTube, random memes, this, that, what if we built a platform where people could come and they knew that they could just discover Black content? And that's how it started. Right. And we evolved that to a place where we were then creating original content. We hired our own writers and our own editorial team. For a while, we were known as the Black BuzzFeed. And then we evolved that to having an events business where we started Afrotech in 2016. Afrotech Conference is sort of like HBCU homecoming for Black people in tech. And, Afrotech is now the largest conference for Black millennials and Gen Z in the world. Afrotech has been mentioned in Jay-Z's raps. He's dropped us in lyrics, right? Afrotech has been mentioned on television shows, right? It's a cultural phenomenon.
Here's Lowell Calder, RBS05 and co-founder of Studio Dental.
As her business grew, she realized that a lot of people from the same team at the same company were coming into her practice. So be 5 or 10 folks from the Google sales team, one quarter, a dozen the next quarter. By the end of the year, it'd be like 40 or 50 people from the same team at the same company who would come into her practice. And so there was something around how folks were finding out about this service through work. And we got to talking about how this could become a business and how we could meet people at work. And we generated this idea of a dental office on wheels. We could take it to people at work. And we were talking about opening a third office. And then 2020 happened. COVID happened. Our mobile office closed immediately, indefinitely. It didn't reopen after that. Our brick and mortar office was closed for about 3 months. And the entire world changed.
Here's David Boone, RBS 2012 and founder of Blend Ed and Through.
The impetus behind creating Blend Ed was just to support college professors in designing better course experiences online. And so, I wanted to create some force of change. And I saw the pandemic as the opportunity to have that force of change, right? I was like, oh, the whole world is upside down. If there was ever a time that educators would be willing to work with, a non-educator technologist, is now, because they need all the help they can get. And I was right about that. The part I wasn't so right about, and we'll get into, was just, was it a problem that would outlive the pandemic? And the short story on that is it wasn't. And then, there was also is there a way to pivot this into something else? Can we move to a different market? Can we go and build the same product for K-12, corporate learning? And ultimately, made the decision we were going to find something entirely new. And that's sort of what ended up leading us to Through.
Here's Caleb Franklin, RBS01 and founder of Matter Entertainment and Hey Hey.
If you go today and you Google search Mumbai local train, you will see amazing videos of like these trains that are just crammed with humanity. The cost of that train ride was roughly 2 cents. And in one flash, I had seen this young lady and she had these white ear pods in her ear. Now, rewind, it seems normal today, but because everybody has an iPhone, right? We all got the white ear pod. But back then, iPhones were really expensive and the white ear pods only existed for iPhones. So I was like, wait, I'm on an overcrowded train where the ticket costs 2 cents. And here's this person who's probably 17, 18 years old who has an iPhone. I was like, something's happening here. This economy must be doing something that we don't actually quite understand.
There's a lot I took away from soaking in the wisdom from a dozen scholars who have and are building businesses. But above them all, their stories are a reminder that entrepreneurship is hard, even for Ron Brown scholars. These are the best and brightest, educated at the best schools, active members of the most supported program and network, and they still face the same challenges that come with building a new company, especially the challenges that Black founders face. They are living proof of the RBS investment thesis that if you find the best and the brightest African American 18-year-olds, wrap them with resources and support, and then keep them connected to each other for a lifetime, powerful things happen. Exciting things happen. And there are more exciting things happening right here on this podcast, The Value of One, The Power of All. I'm excited to announce that it is official. Season 2 is on the way. The executives of our network, aka Mr. Mallory and Mrs. Evans, have renewed The Value of One, The Power of All to come for another series. We're taking the best of Season 1, the authenticity and the insights, and taking it to the next level with some new topics, new episode structures, and new voices. Make sure to click subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when we release the trailer for Season 2 later this year. In the meantime, while you enjoy Season 1, you can learn more about the Ron Brown Scholar Program by visiting www.ronbrown.org. We'll see you soon.